So as a customer, you'd have access to our source code. And that's a pretty common way that the industry has said, you know what, how do we mitigate against this risk? Because at the end of the day, no one's too big to fail anymore, and we all know that. So at the end of the day, the source code for SmartGov is in escrow. It's in an escrow account, which you can access in the unfortunate event if we were to go out of business.
You guys a privately held company, or?
We are a privately held company.
The next question is, going through this, I mean, there's a lot of neat stuff in there that, I mean, I see some of the other departments be able to use. I mean, can the assessor and clerk and the other departments, are they gonna be privy to this, or they have to pay to join in, or how's that gonna work?
I think we'll be the test run, and I definitely see this, you know, the applications are pretty endless, and I can see everybody sort of eventually migrating towards this. But you know, the need and the ability needs to be demonstrated for the cost, and so we're an obvious department. You know, other departments, it really depends on the affordability and the need. But we're excited, and you know, you can see where this is not just, I mean, we're looking at the building side of it as an example, but you know, planning, code enforcement, everything, you know, everything can use this. So that's why it's exciting for a department like ours that has so many different divisions, because it all marries each other.
Another question I had is, say, 10 years ago, somebody come in for a building permit, but they never did get the final one. I mean, is this gonna put up a red flag that, hey, it should have been finalized 9 years ago, or within the year or something? I mean, is it set up so that Maury and his staff can go back and see what unfinished permits are out there, or out of compliance permits, or et cetera, that aren't?
Great question. Thing I like to always say to people is, giving you the right way to store your data is really half the battle. You got to be able to pull it out in an intelligent fashion that informs your processes. So yes. So let me just answer that like this. There's a series of reports that are part of SmartGov, and in addition to that, part of our agreement with you folks is 100 hours of additional report configuration. So what I'm going to show you is what comes stock in the system. I guarantee you what comes stock in the system is not perfect for anybody. It's a beginning point, you know. And so there almost always is some additional report configuration. And so let me show you what's in the system, and on top of that, your part of our contract with you is another 100 hours to make sure you have the right reporting. Because that's how we answer your question, is the right reports that are scheduled to automatically run and be emailed to me. So let's say every month I start the month with an email that says either the permits that are about to expire, or these are the permits that haven't been filed, or, okay, these are the, you know, whatever it is. Okay, so under the permitting department, I go to report. These are tabular reports. So for example, expiring permits, I can say, show me the SFRs. Again, this nomenclature is mine. You can change it as much as you don't have to call it a single NSFR. You can, whatever you want to call it, okay? But this is just how we're calling it. Let's do, I don't know, 200 days to expire, view the report, see what we get. So notice this is arranged in rows, in columns here, and it is sorted by days to expire. So we got 1 day, 1 day, 1 day, now we got 5. Okay, so this is a column that we're sorting this on. And so you can quickly look and say, wow, I got 3 that are about to expire like tomorrow, literally. And so I've got the applicant name, the parcel, and so on. I can easily go in and find out what I need to. This is one example of a built-in report. Of course, do keep in mind that the header stuff is updated for Lassen County. Some of these are related to financial exports based on the fees. So SmartGov has a full fee capability, so you can transact all your fees. Now, Ryan, do you take your payment at the counter, or do you send them to finance?
No, at the counter.
That's good. Perfect. So we can generate your fees for you, and we do have hours, by the way, to help configure your fees. 30 hours for you as a part of our contract with you to configure your fees. You can access your fees, you can change them at any point, but we're going to help you get them all set up in the system. And so you'll be able to pull those finances out of the system by batch, and one of the things that we always do, this is also part of our agreement with you folks, is to build a batch export file, which is designed to then import into your general ledger. And I don't know what you're using for your general ledger, but whatever that is, as long as it has an import function, we will design a batch export file which is able to upload into your general ledger, so you have the data into your general ledger. So this is just an example of some of the reports that are built in. Here's some fee information. In addition to that, now I'm going to go to ad hoc reports. This gives you the ability to create any kind of tabular report that you might need, including output documents. So for example, you can build a letter, for example, in Word for code enforcement, violation letter, just as an example. Word enables you to build in bookmarks into your Word document. You can use this tool now to upload that bookmarked Word document and now associate data from the SmartGov database to that output document. So in other words, you can create any type of output document you need. You don't have to pay me anymore. You're already paying me for 100 hours. You can create it. Now that said, you don't spend every day in this thing, so you're going to forget how to do it, and you're going to say, well, let's create a new one. And you're going to say, let's give this a name. Let's say next. And we're going to do permitting information. Just going to grab permits in general. You're going to say next. And you're going to say, at some point you're going to go, I can't remember how to do this. If you're like me. And that's when you're going to call my help desk. And my help desk will walk you through it. We're open 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific. So we're good. But once you get a report built as you want it built, schedule this guy to run and to automatically email to who you want it to go to. You can define how this will export. Oh, hold on. I can say, do I want this to produce in an HTML, or do I want it to produce in an XLS so I can open it in Excel, or a PDF so that it's not editable, RTF so I can open it in Word. So you have lots of options for how you can build reports to come together. That's a long way to answer your question, but it's a really good question. And so the idea with SmartGov is you'll be able to schedule the right reports to update you on what's taking place.
What section of the contract deals with the training hours, the 100 hours and the 30?
The 4.1.
Is that what we're looking at? Page 69. 24. Exhibit A.
It's 8.1.2.
Page 13, I think.
And also, John, the Black Bear data that exists.
Yes, so if you, page 13 in your packet, it's going to look like this here. It's going to show you the number of hours, the unit cost per hour, and then the total in the right-hand column. So training as well is in this list. General configuration is part of it. So let me speak to the Black Bear discussion really quick. There's a lot that could be said, but I'll just try and be succinct. Black Bear, curiously, is a little company, a little mom and pop company that existed in a town outside of Port Townsend, Washington, a little town called Chimacum, which nothing significant comes from Chimacum, I assure you, other than Black Bear. They started about 23 years ago, husband and wife. They deployed their Black Bear PT Wind system all across the country about 1,600 times. Remarkable story. At the end of December 2010, they finally realized they were not making it. They came to us. They're 30 miles west of us. We never had any dialogue with them. We've been doing permitting software almost the same amount of time. They came to us and said, would you like to buy our company? Alan looked at it and said, heck, no. They were upside down big time. They went to a number of big companies, and nobody bought them because there was a liability. So they said, would you like 2 employees? So we hired them for about a year just to kind of bring in what they know about the PT Win customer base. You folks, of course, are one of those. The thing that we did do is we purchased their source code for PT Win, which enabled us to build a migrator tool. And that's the way we're able to bring your PT Win data in at 0 cost. And I'm telling you, that's a big deal. Even for us, when we're migrating non-PT Win systems, just other systems, it's typically $15,000 to $20,000. I'm talking my pricing, and we're, I think, relatively affordable. So that is a big deal. Because we own that source code, and we've done this over 30 times, PT Win customer migrations, we believe we can do it better than anybody and for free. So that's a big deal.
So how much time is it gonna take Galen when he has a new permit to put it into your computer program?
Galen or me?
For you, or Kelly?
Galen, lickety split.
We could test one of them, have them do it. Let me show you, it's a good question. So let's just say that we're starting over, and I don't have a planning department at the moment. Let's just do it from the building permit. I'm gonna create a permit. All I need to do to create this permit is fill out this web form right here, these few things. Let's just move ourselves over to planning since we do more of that. Now this shows me, if I open this little magnifying glass, it shows me a list of values pertaining to the planning department. Again, this is just demo. You can have 100 times this many permits, or you can only have 3, whatever you want, okay? So I say, well, we're doing a conditional use permit. And by clicking on this template, that template's gonna drive all of the requirements for this permit. And now it says, well, what is your parcel? Again, part of our contract with you is a parcel connector. This is on page 11, or I'm sorry, 12 of your packet. A parcel connector, which is gonna enable us to connect to your, I guess it's your assessor probably, to bring in all your parcel data. So for example, I've got 21,000 parcels. Again, I can use my filtering tools to find the right parcel. Let's just grab this guy. Now let's hit create. Now I've created this permit. Now curiously, this parcel has a code enforcement case against it. And so when I just attach the permit to this parcel, it says, hey, FYI, we got this going on. So I can say, okay, fine, close that. So now we're 1 day old, we're ready to start doing what we need to do. Details I might want to start filling out. This is a custom, these details are custom attributes. It can be whatever you need it to be. That's literally how quick that is. Now, since you're asking, let me take you, how does this template get defined? Let's just take a quick look at that. Administration, permitting setup, permit types. Here's how you define every template of a permit in the system. And I'm just going to take forward. Conditional use permit. This is how we define it. Here's how you call it a CUP or call it something different. This is where you define that. Again, this is the template. Here's how you create a numbering pattern. In this case, we're going to call it CUP, followed by a 4-digit year, followed by a 3-digit sequence. I can use these tokens to create a different nomenclature for my numbering if I want. And they can be different by department, or different by permit, or both. I'm going to do that. Here's how I define, is this guy, can it be published on the portal? Okay, again, you can have permit types, you say, we're not publishing this. I don't want people seeing this on the portal.
Like a code case.
Like which one?
Like a code enforcement case.
Sure, exactly. I'll give you a quick anecdote. So City of Bremerton, Washington, they're close by to us. They were building a battered women's shelter. And they said, oh, geez, we don't really want to just publish everything about it. So they put it under a permit type that was unpublished from the portal. So there's many reasons why you might choose to do that. Here you can define states of existence and how much time can exist before it's expired. Here are these submittal documents. a single family residential. This is what I knew. So, under this submittal, let's see. Oh, there's a different one. I'm gonna go ahead and add, I'm gonna say now and forevermore, what we really need for submittal documents, you can change this as you need to, is I really need this bubble diagram. I'm gonna put that on the top, save it, and now I have this bubble diagram. So now when I go and I create a brand new SFR, and that's the R, new, parcel, quickly. We just created, oh, we have 2 cases. Okay.
That never happened.
So this guy now has a bubble diagram because we just added that. Okay, so that's how easy it is to change your configuration, your fees, your submittals, whatever it might be. I see.
And I would say too that, you know, we already spend as much or more time entering data into our current system that doesn't give us anything back like this. So I'd say much quicker. In the end, it should be a real impact to the department as a whole between tracking, being reminded, those kind of things that we kind of have to set up manually now and aren't very effective. This will automatically be doing it. So it should be a huge impact to the department as a function of time management.
I see this being very cool, not only your department, many others too.
Oh, they're gonna wish they had it.
They won't play the video games in the program.
Software envy.
One thing too, I'll just show you on the public portal side again, if I go back, is you can publish any of those reports that we were showing, you can publish those to the public portal. So now, you know, you've got people that want to kind of track the speed of development, and they say, hey, how many new permit applications do you, I mean, I don't know if that happens, but in some places it does. Build a report for that guy. And you can publish that. The other thing too on this public portal is here's where I come in, I want to report a concern, you know, and this is again pretty simple. This is a 5-step wizard here. Now this concern might end up going to Public Works, because what I might say is I got a pothole in front of my house, or it might go to code enforcement because my neighbors are up all night. So depending on what the concern is, you know, you're going to route it differently. But again, pretty easy process. You know, these 5-step wizards just step you right through it. Pothole.
You could have stopped with pot, and that would be the number 1 hit.
Pot grow.
Yeah.
You know what's legal in my state?
Talk to Eric Holder.
All right, so let me just show you. We're still logged in. Let's apply for a permit. Okay, let's do that. So, yeah, it's just a easy little wizard to walk you through now. I think I have.
Yeah, medical
There it
cannabis
is.
collective.
There we go. This data that I'm using is from the city of Muckletine. They allowed us to use their data for demo data. So that's a real permit ticket.
Are those real fees in your county where you live, the prices?
Yes. Yeah. Which ones did you see?
It's looking at the
22,000,
SFR.
3,000, 5,000.
Well, yeah, they are. They are. Now, in this case, we're doing a merchant service connector for you as well, which means that you'll have the ability for your applicants to pay on the portal, just like I'm doing here. So I say, hey, I owe this money, add that to my shopping cart, proceed to checkout. From here, we connect to a PCI compliant visa processor. That's not us, that's not what we do. So, but we connect to them. It's done in real time. It validates right back to my, right back to our portal that it's been paid. But yeah, those actually are real fees. Most of these fees.
That's a different meeting, Aaron.
That's a different.
It's a different world, right?
Yeah,
That's the ocean world.
yeah, those are real fees. Let me show you how to take, let's see.
They collect the school fees on there too.
You have a question?
They collect the school fees on there too?
Which fees?
School fees and medication fees?
Yeah. So let's do, let me show you how to do a fee. I'm gonna change this to,
So with this program here on your mapping, say I wanted to build a permit, would it look it up and it would automatically see if I was within the school board bond fees where that would be tied in, or is that getting into the draft?
I honestly don't know exactly how this one's doing that, but it can do that because if, so for us, everything goes back to a parcel, unless it doesn't, of course. You can create fees that do not require a parcel. Right-of-way permit, for example, it doesn't require a parcel. Okay. But most of the time, it's going to require a parcel. That parcel gives us a lat-long coordinate, which ties us to a geographic location, and based on that, yes.
And how
Yeah.
about the flood zone, can you put the flood
Oh,
zone in
yeah,
there too?
heck yeah, heck yeah. So let's look at,
Pre-calculating.
Airport, highway zones?
just update this.
So far.
Well, I can't show you how to pay a fee. They just updated this on me. One of the enhancements, and this is actually a really cool thing for you, we're rolling out enhancements every single month, just various changes that we're doing, and you always get the benefit of that.
That's included in the maintenance fee?
It is indeed, it is indeed. And what happens is, you can come to this version button on the bottom, and this shows you the enhancements or the changes that have been done. This is the release notes for September 25, and this really nicely laid out. See, here's where you can see this state was just recently created, and I need to get them to train me on how to do that. Basically, though, what they've done is they've made these fees so that you can have certain fees that are due upon application if you want. You can have fees that are due once it becomes complete or whenever. And you can trigger the requirement of these fees based on states. And so that's what's happening here, and because of this, I can't pay anything. So I need to get trained on it. But it's very simple. You just create a receipt, and I have nothing to pay, but I say what type of payment. If it's a check, I say, well, here's the check number, and then I create, and then, so this is the fees, but that's how it's very simple to do. Okay. I'm going to show you something else I got. Well, conditions. So conditions can exist as a requirement of the permit type. So you can say for every, maybe subdivision type of planning permit, blah, 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 condition this, condition that. And so when you create that type of a permit, it's going to pull those conditions in. Now, some conditions might come from the parcel. So, for example, when we go to this parcel, here's the parcel that this permit is connected to. Here's my parcel data, the legal description, the main, here's my lat long coordinate, here's my ownership information. See, I have a genealogy in this case of ownership that I can show. But I also have a conditions tab. In this case, I do not have any conditions on this parcel, but a common occurrence would be a floodplain, a municipal building code that affects a certain number of parcels. Again, in Washington, we have tons of wetland areas that could affect a parcel. If there is a condition on the parcel, this condition will roll up to any permit that is connected to it and will show up in this condition. Really nice feature. And I don't know if you do this much, but you can do a hierarchy where you have a parent permit and or master project, master thing, and then a child and a grandchild and so on. You can create that right here as well and view the hierarchy chain. I don't know if you do that.
So on the maintenance fee, does that, sorry, does that include unlimited help, or what, is there a cap on the help, or how does that work?
I guess it depends on how we define it. It's unlimited help. You can call our help desk anytime and we'll respond to you. Now, if you're having an anomaly with the system, of course, we're gonna work on that and take care of that. If you call the help desk and say, hey, I need you to build this report, we'll build it for you, but we'll charge you for a report, because you've got the ability to build it. Now, if you just say, no, remind me how I do the report, they'll walk you through it. There's no cost for that. But if you said, hey, I need a department, a brand new department fully configured, that's not a help desk thing. But again, if you say, hey, I'm configuring an apartment and I forget how to do it, they'll help you. You see what I'm saying? They'll help you and get you where you need to go. If you just say, hey, I've got this basket of thing, could you please go do it? That's what they'll say. Yeah, that'll be about 8 hours, or whatever.
So those hours listed that make up the quote, those are just your kind of baseline estimations, just for the purpose of pricing.
It is, but I feel very comfortable with the number of hours we have for you.
Or what if it goes under?
What's that?
What if it goes under or over?
Well, if it goes under, we won't build that those hours.
So this 51,736 might end up being less.
In my,
Can it be more?
it could be more, but it's not gonna be more without us telling you, hey, we've got a problem, we think it's gonna be more. I really don't see that happening. And here's the other thing. So with a system like this, you can configure about 99% of the system, including reports, including fees, just a matter of learning how to do it. So if at some point we say, hey, we're starting to run out of these hours that are in the contract, the mitigation plan is to say, let's make sure you understand how to finish it off yourself, because you can do it. So that's the mitigation.
Would you be willing to cap that price?
It already is capped.
It's not capped if you said it could go over.
Now you're gonna ask me to try and, be an attorney. You're an attorney, right?
Depending on who you listen to.
We do have language which says we're not gonna go over, let's see what I got. The other thing I'll tell you is, and I don't recommend this, but we've had jurisdictions come to us and say, John, I have enough money to buy the user subscriptions and that's it. Hastings, Minnesota is an example. And we said, well, do you feel comfortable with this? And they said, yeah. So I said, okay. So they did not get trained from us. They didn't get one single hour of services. They're really good references. They don't use the system very efficiently, big surprise, because they didn't get any services. But as an example, you can use the system without even anything from us. I just don't recommend it.
Well, the, attachment B, it talks about a cap. The cap is 51,736.
What page are you on?
12.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Maury, when he talks about attachment A, is that the, it's not what's listed on page 13, is it?
Attachment A is the scope of services.
Correct. And that's found pages 9 through 11, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
A1 through 8.1.2.7.
Right.
So do those scope of services, I mean, do they outline that those, on page 13, it shows 100 hours, 30 hours, 30 hours, 32 hours, and 4 days on site?
all of these attachments were incorporated